Hi, Gypsy here. Time to get away from home, hit the road, and go to Grand Canyon.
Okay, I'm getting ready to roll. I think it's just a little after 8 o'clock, pulling out of my long driveway here. Got a couple of stops to make before I actually get onto the real road, but this is the beginning of this rambling road trip with Gypsy. And I have to go under the railroad tracks. I thought, oh, they were done paving Iron Springs Road, but I guess not. We got some road construction going on here. Anyway, we just follow the pilot car like we are told to do. Oh, wait a minute. They're covering the center line. I presume that means they're going to repaint it. I wonder if that means somebody messed up the center line. That's kind of funny. Just noticing how filthy the windshield is. So, I don't know how good this video is going to turn out, but when I fuel up in town, I'll wash it and hope for the best. Entering Prescott National Forest. I love national forests. Slide area because of big boulders. Here you can see some straight ahead. Granitic plutons, the same stuff that I have around my place, the ranch. I think you just can't lose with national forests, national parks, or any other public lands. Then maybe I'm just a little bit biased as a retired park ranger. But I'm sure glad we have all this public land, because it gives us places to go and recreate and have some peace and quiet. Here's the pass, 6153. Downhill from here into the lovely little city of Prescott, Arizona. Welcome to Prescott. Actually, this is kind of the outer western edge. Okay, well, I think I'm done in Prescott now. Got my shopping all done, and I'm ready to hit the road, Jack. Leaving Prescott, and because I like to avoid going into the town portion as much as possible, I headed up first Williamson Valley Road, and then from Williamson Valley Road, we're going to take Pioneer Parkway, which kind of goes to the northern edge of Prescott. Again, avoiding the downtown. To the left is one of the ways that I could take to get on Highway 89 north through the Deep Well Ranch. However, it drops you right into one of those awful roundabouts. And so I'm actually going to do this a little differently. The other option, second option, is getting off of Pioneer Parkway here to the right, directly take us down to Highway 89. I love that little shortcut, I'll call it. Takes you around the outside edges of Prescott. I'll tell you what, it had been another 30 minutes to get to this point if I'd gone into town. Now as we head north on SR or Highway 89, we're going to have roundabout after roundabout. I hate those dang things. Big golden fields of dry grass. Crazy land. Gotta keep your eyes open though, because sometimes there's actually a pronghorn out in these great big fields as well. Man, that looks like a long horn there. Not a pronghorn, a cow with long horns. And here we are already approaching the town of Chino Valley. All filled up, and I'm way out of Chino Valley. Oh yeah, fuel. Diesel fuel, $5.53 a gallon at the Safeway. It hurts, but can't go anywhere without it, so there you go. My big diesel here, carrying that 3,100 pound camper, that's a dry weight, mind you, gets about 13 miles to the gallon. I know that sounds terrible for all of you who are driving around in tiny little cars, but you know, I sleep a lot more comfortable in mine, and I can also take a poop and cook dinner and keep the beer cold, so that's the trade-off. Don't blink, you'll miss Paulden. Oops, too late. Back in the Prescott National Forest again, and now we've gone through that little Paulden area. We're making a slow climb, headed towards Ash Fork. Being that we're in line here behind an RV that wants to go slower, I'm going to ramble a little bit. So far today has been incredible for getting to know folks, or just talking to people, being friendly. While I was shopping, and I was searching for a scoop, poop scoop for my kitty pan. You know, I've got one. It's in the house. I wanted one in the camper. Didn't have to move back and forth. There's 2 cat pans, so why not? Anyway, a young man was trying to help me find the poop scoops, and he noticed that I had on my Yarnell t-shirt, so he asked if I was from Yarnell, and I said not currently, that I had been. I now lived in Skull Valley. And he said, oh my gosh, well that's where I live too, is in Skull Valley. Well, considering that the Walmart is only about 20 minutes from Skull Valley, I guess that's no surprise. But we got to chatting, and he lives on a ranch someplace out there, and this was like his 5th day at work at Walmart, and he'd never done any of this kind of sales retail work before in his life. And he was an amazingly interesting person. And I'm going to guess, he probably easily in his 30s, maybe even more than that. I'm very bad at guessing people's ages. Anyway, then waiting in line to check out from the store, and I absolutely refuse to do self-checkout. They don't pay me enough. I would rather just stand in line and wait. And I did for quite a while. But of course I got to chatting with the gal in front of me who used to live in Skull Valley, but now she lives in Peeples Valley. She does live in a fifth wheel. It was like, we just hit it off great. We just chatted away. And then the lady behind us got involved in the conversation as well. And, I'm always happily amazed because people are really good, really friendly. In fact, the lady behind me at the store, I kidded about it. I bet we could get jobs here without any problem. Looks like they're a little short-handed. And she said, yeah, they wouldn't want to hire me because, she goes, then I would have to, she goes, I wouldn't be nice. Because I have to deal with people like me. And I said, oh, but you seem like a nice person. Anyway, we got to talking too. So it made the time go by. I have no idea how long we waited in line. But, it is if you just smile, say hi to someone, be friendly. I guess I'm friendly. I'm maybe a little bit of an introvert considering I hadn't really been out of the house in almost 2 weeks, so I might have been hankering for conversation as well. But it's okay to be friendly with people. Now, all walks of life, right? I talked to a gal who lives like me in a fifth wheel. The gal behind me, nope, she lived in Prescott. But, she talked about how she shared housing with family because it was the only way she could afford to live someplace. Anyway, that's just one little ramble along the way. And, again, I just think people are good for the most part. And I was talking to a friend earlier today about, stuff around us is really hard and the world seems like it's crazy and weird and fuel prices are awful and groceries are terribly expensive, and yet, you know what? You got to try to stay just absolutely as positive as you can. It's the healthiest thing you can do for yourself. Okay, that's the ramble past Drake Cement. We're on the Kaibab National Forest now. Definitely juniper and pinyon woodlands. A little different. Kaibab. See, I've been dreaming about the Kaibab ever since it started to get hot. Because I'm used to being on the Kaibab Plateau. Granted, I'm usually on the north side of the Big Ditch, or the Grand Canyon, as most people call it. 8,000 feet. Oh, feels wonderful. That would be Ponderosa Pine Forest, instead of what we're seeing here, the juniper pinyon woodlands. And there's a lot of public land right around here. We just passed on the red place you could drive over a little cattle guard and go find yourself a place to park. This would be one of those 14-day areas, I believe, here on the forest. I can see traffic on the freeway now, and we are almost to the turn off here. We're going to head east, coming up on I-40. I don't like to travel interstates, but is that going to be for too long? I'm glad about that. $75. featuring Kaibab National Forest. Oh, I always feel like I'm going home when I see signs like that. So I don't go 75. And on a freeway, I don't have to, because guess what? There's a lane that they can pass me. Now, I will go faster than 55 alive, which is what I, learned to drive at on freeways. Unless the weather's really inclement. And you know what? Then I'll go slower. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of lock her in at about 68 with the cruise control. Well, I'm really grateful the road smoothed out a bit. I don't like having my teeth rattled loose. And we are heading upwards still, so we're getting in higher elevation. Now there's ponderosa pines starting to come in. They're the tall trees you see above the rest of the pinyon juniper, like you saw back there before we got on the interstate. We're not that far out of the little town of Williams. Well, I think we're on our way. Way out there in the distance is where we're headed. Well, it's kind of where we're headed. I tell you, I think it's a beautiful day to be on the road. 87 degrees. Heading basically north. I do have the AC on pretty low, but boy, am I glad that that's fixed. And I don't have to be buffeted by the wind when I'm out driving anymore. Oh yeah. Iconic landmark in front of us. They call that one Red Butte. We're getting a little closer to that Red Butte. Love these clouds today. They're just about perfect. Cumulus without the nimbus. Floating along. That's how I feel right now. Floating along. I love the way the clouds almost lead me down the road here. I'm a nut for clouds. Actually, I'm a nephelographer. So nepho is Greek for clouds and ographer is photography. So I'm a cloud photographer sometimes. When I take landscape photographs, which is the thing I usually am taking pictures of, I find they are much more interesting and dramatic if there's some clouds than just the typical Arizona blue sky. And of course for sunsets or sunrises, you really gotta have a little bit of clouds. Forest Road 320. I'm kind of guessing it takes you over here to Red Butte on the right, as we are just coming back into the Kaibab National Forest. Home. One of my many. What are they telling us for fire? Moderate? Wow, that's surprising. Okay, another forest road, 305, off here to the right. That would be another place you could go find a place to camp. I'd like to get just a bit closer. Another forest road to the left this time, number 347. I'll have to look at the map later and see what you got here. Yep, pretty drive, I think. Look at this. We're coming into the Ponderosa Pine Forest now. To admit, ponderosas are one of my favorite trees. They smell lovely. Look beautiful. Feel incredible. Tucson. Another tourist trap. To the right, 302 would be a place to go camping. Forest Service office. Kaibab. I never realized that was there. Another forest road on the left, 328. Horse riding stable as well. There it is. What do you think? There. I dug them out. That gets me in. It's my hippie pass. I do. It's been a while. Alright, we made it through. And now I gotta go and park someplace for a minute or two. Because that's what I like to do when I get into a park, is to park and regroup and figure out where I'm gonna go and what I'm gonna do. Car slowed down ahead, tells me there's probably animals very close here by the side of the road. Most likely there could be deer, there could be elk, could be any number of things. Oh, it could be a Kaibab squirrel. Well, on this side I guess it'd be an A-bird, but oh yeah, no, it's an elk. Yep, it's elk. East to Desert View, straight ahead to the market. Okay, I found a place to park. And the lot's almost empty, so let's see what we get here. Stuck on a rock. We're looking at the Grand Canyon. Pretty spectacular, huh? It seems so strange. You stand there staring into the Grand Canyon and its mega layers of colors and texture, and then boom, you're back in the forest. I know the very first time I drove to the Grand Canyon, and that was 45 years ago, I think, to the North Rim, and you also drive through forest there, but there's more meadows. And I mean, you just can't believe you're driving to the Grand Canyon because it's forested, and the Grand Canyon, to most of us, it appears to be a very dry desert environment. And well, that would be true there's a place coming up ahead that you pull off, and there's a big parking lot. Well, there is a parking lot. I don't know how big it is. Hopefully I can park at Grandview Point, and I'm really interested to see what direction the moon's going to rise from that area. Even though I know it's going to come up over the trees, it is what it is. And here we go, Grandview Point. Let's go take a look at the Grandview. All right, here we are at the Grandview. Looking pretty good. Once upon a time, there was a hotel not too far from here. Check out those turkey vultures. I was hoping the condors, but not. Yeah, the Grandview Hotel. It's not here anymore, but it was one time. Alright, Grandview's gonna be alright. I might even be able to see the moon from the east side coming up. I have to get out of here because there is a huge bunch of RVs coming in right now. And I needed to get out of that space. And also go find my camp for the night, you know? Yeah. Alright, so that was Grandview, and we'll definitely be back to Grandview more than once, I'm sure. Might actually be able to catch the moonrise towards the east side of that point. It looked like maybe, I'm gonna have to check it again, but you know what? It's been a long day, and I've been driving since, what, almost 8 o'clock this morning, and now it's after 5. So, I'm gonna go find a camp. So, the Arizona Trail. The tower, I believe, the tower parking for the Grandview Tower, I believe, is along the Arizona Trail. You know, it's always the first mile that's really bad because people give up and turn around. But what I gotta do is pull in far enough to get out of the park, and I'm pretty sure there will be some sort of markers or boundaries. Alright, I see a sign coming up that marks the National Forest. There's an outhouse over here. And this little building. So that must be, it's locked, of course. But that would be where they would post a National Forest Service ranger if someone was going to post a National Forest Service ranger. Alright, there's the fence line. We're going through the boundary across the cattle guard. And that basically means I should be able to pull over and park very soon. Oh, somebody coming in behind me. I know there's a spot right there that's looking not too bad. I'm just gonna pull over here. See what we get. It's not real open, but that's okay because the sun's almost down now anyway. So, oh, I do see a camper out there in front of me. Oh, way is good. You know, this has got wood. If I wanted a fair, but I'm not going to, of course. And how does this for level? It's looking good. All right, we're level. Looks good. There's the table. Honey, we're home.